Well, what is going on, gang? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It is very nice to have you here today. This is the Kizer Huldra, Huldra. This is a Mason Hayes design. I'm a huge fan of Wharncliffe knives. This is just a straight cutter. Very well done. It is titanium. It's on bearings. The blade is, what are we rocking here? We are rocking S35 VN. I suppose I could have read that right there if I wasn't being lazy. It's got a very nice, relatively comfortable handle shape. A little short for me on the forced swell through here. My pinky falls off the back, but for draw cuts, this sort of thing is really nice. Let's take a look at what you get. So it is sort of handle heavy in the design, which is interesting. We line that right up. You're looking at just a hair over 3 inches of cutting on 3 inches, just a hair over 3 inches overall of blade. It's got an interesting fuller that runs the length of the blade and sort of a key-shaped deployment hole, which is cool. It's got a very nice pivot, married down into the titanium frame lock, as you can see. No lefty love. This is a righty-only knife. It's got a little bit of a backspacer. It is milled on the inside. See if we can get that to show up just... Not going to show. No, of course not. That's useless. Anyway, it's got some milling across the top, I think mostly for aesthetic. The Huldra is a well-done knife. Most of what Kizer does is very nice. It's a little small for me, and as I said, it's a 3-finger knife with my pinky falling off the back, but that's okay. I do love this blade shape, though. I really do. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Now, I was saying, I think that I very much like this blade shape, and I do. A lot. In fact, I liked it on the gripper when it first came out, too. It is a tough world out there. Designing original things is difficult. And in fact, when the gripper came out, there were some complaints that it was similar to other things. So I just want to be clear. These are very different knives. But if you like this blade shape, you're going to love the Huldra. I like this kind of blade shape. It's not great for kitchen work because there's no belly, but for your average, everyday, daily cutting purposes, a good warning like this makes a lot of sense. It's very stabby if you need it to be. Gives something a good poke. It's great for cutting rope and plastic and tools and paper and all the things you need to cut in your daily life, which is why razor blades are shaped this way, right? This one has multiple deploy functions, right? You can use this sort of hidden flipper here, which works very well. You can front flip it, which is very nice. And of course you can, well, if you don't screw it up on camera twice, you can Spidey flick it. It has multiple deployment features, which I like very much. The pocket clip is, I think, titanium, but it's wrapped over the back, so it is very deep carry. It's just a neat knife. Let's get the rest of the specs out of the way. Like I said, you're coming in at just basically 3 inches of cutting. The grip area from behind the swell is 2 3/4 to here, and then 1, 2, 3, 2 3/4, and then out to about 1, 2, 3.5 towards this end. But it really is a 3-finger grip. The pinky is just sort of out there doing its thing. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't really notice it that much when you're locking down. But if you've got hands that are even a little bit bigger than mine, that shape is not going to work that well for you. So just pay attention. These aren't that expensive. I think these are coming in at about $150 for titanium and S35 VN, which is not bad. This is just a neat knife. Well sorted, well done. I'm not a huge fan of blacked out like this, but they make varieties of these, which is cool. Let's take a look at the closed length. It's got a nice flat top, makes that easy. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4 because of the pocket clip that's sticking out a little bit. In the pocket, this thing is really nice. Line it up on that line, you're coming in 1 1/4 inches. And because it's a nice neutral shape this way, it fits the pocket beautifully. This is an interesting little part right here. Because of the length, right, you can see it lines, see that? I mean, there's the lineup right there. But when it closes down, It's got just, I don't know, it's got interest to it. It really does. I do like the pivot. Relatively small. I haven't taken it apart and I'm not going to, but it's unobtrusive and yet matches the style of the rest of the knife, which I think is very well done. Let's do some size comparisons. First and foremost, we're going to compare it against the gripper. As you can see, it is smaller than the gripper, but if you like this shape of blade, grippers are not available. The Huldra is. Here it is against a full-size Griptilian, just because that's something we do. As you can see, the Huldra is considerably smaller, but if you line it up right on the money, yeah, you get a little bit less cutting, right? Maybe a 1/4 inch less cutting, but the overall knife is about a 1/4 inch shorter too. So it's nice. It's well done. And here it is against a CJRB Pyrite, just for giggles. This seems to be a very popular knife these days, so I want to show you something you will know. It is larger than the Pyrite in all the right places. So, excuse me, the Huldra, nice knife, well done, good materials, $150, you kind of can't go wrong. I see all this milling on the inside. I wonder how much good that does. Let's find out, shall we? Action's very nice. It's got a very positive lock. When you... Hear that? That's nice. 4.1 ounces. For 3-inch blade. It's a little hefty for the amount of blade that you get. I think that's going to come down to the thickness of the titanium back here at the end. Like I said, they did mill it, but that's a fair amount of titanium right there. So what it makes for, though, is a very comfortable holding experience. It is handle heavy, so when it's locked up in your hand, you don't feel like you're going to lose it. The Huldra is a well-sorted, well-designed, interesting cutting tool. They are $150, and I will put a link in the description to where you can find one of your own if you're interested in such a thing. Thank you so much for watching, and again, thank you, Lefty, over at Lefty EDC. I'll put a link to his channel in the description as well for sending me along all of this content. I really appreciate it. And on that note, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we'll see you next time.